everyone. Good evening. I'm Shreya Bhaurdial and you're with Delhi Demands. It is our 2-week focus on the national capital in the run-up to elections. Election dates could be announced any time now in the next 24 hours is what we are being told. And if you're a resident of Delhi and you listen to the radio, you already are hearing tall promises by various political parties. The Aam Aadmi Party is promising to slash your electricity bill by 50%. The BJP says if voted to power, they'll cut it down by 30%. The Aam Aadmi Party is also saying that if you vote us into power, you won't have to pay a bill for water. Is it possible? Are freebies what Delhi needs or a permanent fix to its problems? That's the question we are debating this evening. Joining me this evening is Mr. Anil Rajban. He's the former Power Secretary, Government of India. Also with me, some citizens of Delhi. But before I get to them, take a look at this report that Meenakshi Upredi has filed for us.
Electricity in Delhi cost 4.65 rupees a unit. This rose to 5.7 rupees a unit in 2011. By May 2013, the figures had vaulted to 6.5 rupees a unit and further to 7.3 rupees a unit in 2014. The rising tariffs run counter to the long power cuts seen in Delhi both in peak winter and summer.
बिजली इतनी जा रही है उसके बावजूद भी हर 6 महीने में बिजली की दरें बढ़ाई जा रही है हर महीने 6 महीने के बाद बिजली बढ़ाएगा उसी को हम वोट देंगे
East Delhi RWA head B.S. Vora had filed a number of petitions asking for an audit of electricity companies.
They are always willing to raise the power tariff or the water price regularly at regular intervals. We get dozens and dozens of complaints.
Several parts of India's national capital get water for just an hour every day.
A posh area like Vasant Kunj does not get water supply throughout the day, and there are times we have to call tankers and pay extra money.
Sensing the public mood, all political parties have made water and power their whole plank. The Aam Aadmi Party promises a 50% cut in power bills, the BJP 30%.
500 करोड़ का बजट प्रोविजन इस बार माननीय अरुण जेटली जी ने किया है उससे हम पानी की लाइनों को बदलेंगे
and 700 liters of water would be made available to every citizen of the city.
But implementing these promises won't be easy. Cutting electricity bills would cost crores in subsidy. Most water pipelines are 40 to 50 years old and prone to leakages. More than 35% connections in Delhi don't have a functional meter.
You have differential rates for different sections of the society, but no freebies.
Posters like these offering free water and cutting electricity rates have been put up by political parties throughout the city. But fulfilling these promises isn't going to be a cakewalk, considering that 14 lakh households still do not have a piped water supply. But politicians are not taking any chance, understanding that electricity and water is an issue which affects each and every Delhiite, irrespective of the class divide. With camera person Naveen Bansal in New Delhi, Meenakshi Upredi.
Mr. Rajban, I'm coming to you first. We've just seen Meenakshi's report there. Depending on consumption, and we pay our rates, we pay our tariffs according to slabs, 4.5 to 6.5 per unit is what Delhi pays for electricity. Compared to neighboring cities, compared to a city like Bombay, Delhi rates are way cheaper. Then our political party is justified in promising a slash in our electricity tariffs.
Well, I think, you see, we've begun to regard power for a long time as a commodity which is a political commodity. It is unfortunately an economic activity and must be viewed as an economic activity. Of course, it must be run efficiently, it must be run competently, and its use must be done in the most efficient manner. Delhi, prior to the privatization, was not a very happy state of affairs. We had large power cuts. And now I think as compared to those times, we are very much better. In fact, most areas of Delhi do not have power cut. We have 4 areas in Delhi, which is the 2 BACS companies, the Tata company, and the NDMC area. Now, cost of power to a very large extent is dependent on the cost of procurement of the power. Delhi does not have its own generating sources, and its cost of procurement, including transmission, etc., I am told is coming to somewhere around 5 rupees a unit in many cases. There is cheaper power available in the northern region, but that is only the Bhakra power, which is about 30 paise a unit. But that's long ago, and Delhi share in it is very long, not very much. We are getting mostly thermal power either for stations around Delhi or in the northern region, or could be taken from other regions as well. But as you have pointed out, I think, you see, when we compare our tariffs, domestic in the lower consumption category and domestic in the higher consumption category, we are still better than most parts of the country. But the most important thing in power is its reliability. Well, there are states where there's 4 to 6 hours power cut in a day. There were some states, not to be named in southern India, which had even 10 to 12 hours of power cut till this winter.
And then, Mr. Razdan, there is Mumbai with no power cuts at all. Now, Delhiites will easily ask, if we are paying for our power, why not have a situation like in Mumbai where you don't have to face any blackouts at all?
I entirely agree with you. I think you see the Delhi situation where there are cuts. I think it's not really a procurement problem. It's a distribution problem. The distribution network in Delhi is quite outmoded. It has not been improved for a long time. Post-privatization, there have been some improvements. In some areas, some substantial improvements. Because we were reporting an AT&C loss of about 50%. Now, I think the Tata areas it's reported to about 10%. And in the BSES areas, it varies, I think, between about 10 to 15%. Now, that is way below the national average, which is about 28 to 29%. Of course, the system in Mumbai and Kolkata is much better. There, the AT&C losses are below a figure of 10%. And I think the distribution network is also better. We, unfortunately, in some of the most crowded parts of the city, do not yet have the best available distribution network. So there could be local overloading of transformers, which leads to local circuit faults and or little regional blackouts.
So hold your thought there. I'm going to get a citizen of Delhi in on that point. Mr. Bora, you have, time and again went and filed RTIs asking why are power tariffs in Delhi being increased. If you compare power tariffs of Delhi to other metros, they are fairly low. Distribution companies will tell you, look, 80% of our cost is procuring this power. Even if you, go in for an audit, and you've been, I know, asking for audits, even if you go in for an audit, don't think that you'll be able to substantially reduce your tariffs. The tariffs are only likely to go up, not come down.
See, my issue is, we are just asking for a CAG audit. My issue is that why these discoms don't come under RTI? Why they're not being audited by CAG? In our opinion, these are just a corporate who are just there to make money. And we are sorry, but we can't rely whatever they are saying. If our CAG auditor says that they are at loss, we will agree. We are ready to pay anything. But in the absence of any such CAG audit, how can we rely on the corporate sector when we know that there are many?
But it is not an addition of power in Delhi that the power situation has improved. You don't see the sort of blackouts we used to see in the olden days. Yes, we saw one, last year, but that was because of a storm. Things have improved in Delhi.
There's no doubt things have improved. But my question is that why they are not willing to go under RTI? Why they are not asking for the CAG? What's the problem to these discoms? Why they are refusing it? What's the thing that they want to hide from the public of India?
Sir, I want to ask you, what is auditing private companies, distribution companies, really the solution to your high power tariffs? Everyone says, there's Ghapla, look at our meters, they just go anywhere up north. Just give us your thoughts and your issues.
Evening, Mr. Razdan. First, it's been a long time having met, and I answer the question what you said, that corporatization, yes, did give some benefits, but if you look at this PPM model, it's been a complete disaster. Complete disaster. If you see what has been happening, and you were the chairman when we started the reforms in EMA, and you are quite well aware that the 12th working paper of the plan also did not come up to the expectations.
Why is it a failure, sir?
The failures which Razdan is well aware of as the chairperson is that none of the state governments have been able to provide a local distribution network worthwhile its name. The power grid has been upgraded over and over again, but nothing has happened. All meetings of the state ministers in September have been a fiasco. Every state has been only asking for racking up the distribution system, and for last 14 years, I wonder why the DISCOMs haven't been doing it.
Mr. Razdan, would you want to respond to that?
Well, I'd say clearly, you see, we have a regulatory mechanism in place. It needs to be far more proactive at the state level. And I think we need to introduce some kind of system by which there is greater transparency and greater probing by the by the regulators into the affairs of distribution companies, so that there is a fair and public confidence in the matter. Well, I think a lot of this, you see, suspicion stems from the lack of transparency or need for a greater transparency in the system. The fact of the matter is that I think in the beginning, in 2-3 years, there were some increases in tariff by the Regulatory Commission, but thereafter there have been almost 5 years no increase in tariff at all, and the major increases in tariff have only come in the last 2 or 3 years. Now, I think the cumulative losses of the distribution companies in the country are now nearing 3 lakh crores. By not raising the tariffs and putting regulatory assets, we are merely postponing the problem to our children. I think we've got to settle all these economic issues here and now in every year. If the states want to give, or the political parties concerned want to give people power to the citizens, they have to provide some subsidy which is transparent and advanced subsidy, which comes to the distribution companies, because...
Mr. Razdan, if I can interrupt, we forget our children. The immediate problem here right now is, why is billing so unreliable? You go to any juggi jhopri, they'll tell you they've got a bill for 1,45,000. I mean, why is billing so unreliable in a professional setup is a question that gets asked always, anywhere you go in Delhi.
It should not happen at all. I entirely agree with you, and that is where the regulator should step in and look into the billing systems and the meters, because I think, you see, the first thing that you require in any electricity system is that there should be 100% metering, right from the time you generate electricity till the last consumer uses it. And there has to be integrity in the system throughout. We have introduced a regulatory mechanism. I don't think they require more powers, but they require more activism. And if these areas are
activism
or are receiving absurd, yes.
So, just hang on to your thoughts. I do have to take a very quick break on the show at the moment, but we are leaving you with what citizens of Delhi are saying about their bijli and pani crisis. Is there a crisis at all? Of course, is a question we'll try and answer on the other side of the break. Do stay with us.
The power increase has not been as much as compared to the demand. Yesterday only I had a 5-hour power cut, which was like a big thing to happen in the winters when demand is not that high.
My premises is locked from 6 months, but I am paying 1100 electricity charges for the locked premises as well as 1500 for the water charges.
A lot of political parties and a lot of political campaigners have promised a lot of things to the Delhi voters, but I do not see anything happening on the ground as yet.
There is a lot of inadequacy in a lot of regions, and there is a lot of leakage of funds from Delhi Jal Board and a lot of corruption involved with that. That's what the past statistics have shown. But now let's see how much better it can be with the new government.
Welcome back. You're with Delhi Demands. The treated and safe capacity of Delhi, we are talking about water here, hasn't increased since 2007. The population of this city has. Perhaps why? Come summer, we see the raj of the water mafia and their tankers constantly haggling for prices. I have Manoj Mishra here. Manoj, we have the Aam Aadmi Party, which is promising 700 liters of water free for every household. Is that amount of free water even required by every household in the city? And is it doable? Is it required and is it doable?
देखिए, कोई भी ऐसी चीज जो लाइफ एसेंशियल है, और कोई भी बसाहट आप देख लीजिए, अभी आप बिजली की बात कर रही थी, बिजली अगर ना भी हो तो आप चल जाएगा, बट पानी नहीं हो तो आपका काम नहीं चलेगा। और किसी भी नेचुरल रिसोर्स को फ्री बांटने की बात सोचनी ही गलत है, क्योंकि किसी भी चीज को आपने एक बार फ्री दे दिया तो उसका मिसयूज लाजमी है, मिसयूज तो होगा ही। जहां तक 700 लीटर प्रति फैमिली देने की बात है, ये बिल्कुल ही एक्स्ट्रा वेगेंट है। एक आदमी को आप कितना भी खींच लीजिए, 100 लीटर प्रति पर्सन बिल्कुल कहीं से भी जरूरत नहीं है। वैसे तो अगर आप देखें, अगर आप फ्लश के पानी को छोड़ दीजिए, फ्रेश वाटर फ्लश में यूज करना क्रिमिनल है, अगर आप उसको छोड़ दीजिए, एक आदमी को 50 लीटर से ज्यादा की जरूरत नहीं है। अब आप खींच लीजिए 70 और खींच लीजिए 100, एक पांच लोगों के एक फैमिली के लिए 500 लीटर से ज्यादा पानी की आवश्यकता किसी भी हालत में नहीं है, और आप 700 लीटर फ्री देने की बात करते हैं, इट इज क्राइम।
So, जो ये दिल्ली में there's this crisis we talk about, water is so precious in this city that there are some colonies that actually keep water under lock and key. I have some statistics here. The Delhi Jal Board apparently produces some 830 mgd. This is a million gallons of water per day in peak summer. I believe that is sufficient. The problem lies elsewhere. It is man-made.
Certainly. देखिए, ऐसा है, दिल्ली जल बोर्ड की आप वेबसाइट में चले जाइए, वो कहते हैं हमारे पास पानी 50 गैलन प्रति पर्सन प्रति दिन है इस शहर में। ये वो शहर है जो शायद दुनिया के बड़े बड़े शहरों में सबसे ज्यादा पानी अगर किसी शहर को मिलता है तो वो है दिल्ली। 500 गैलन का मतलब होता है करीब 215-220 लीटर प्रति पर्सन प्रति दिन। इतना पानी किसी शहर को नहीं मिलता है। इस शहर को पानी की कमी नहीं है, इस शहर में जो दिक्कत है वो है डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन।
And there are 14 lakh people who still don't get piped water in this city. But let me get in a word from this lady here. He's spoken about the fact that, Delhi has enough water. But what kind of water are we getting? You're a housewife here and there are so many complaints that come in about dirty water. Just tell us your experiences.
यहाँ पानी इतना गंदा आता है कि हमें उसको हम पीने के बजाय हम नहा भी नहीं सकते, हमें पानी खरीद के पीना पड़ता है। बच्चे बीमार हो जाते हैं, बाहर से पानी खरीदना हमारा पूरा महिलाओं का बजट मिल के रह जाता है। इतनी महंगाई में हम बिल भी पे करती हैं, उसके बाद हम पानी बाहर से भी खरीदते हैं। इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर लेडीज एंड।
तो आप कह रहे हो कि आपको मुफ्त पानी नहीं चाहिए, बस साफ पानी।
हमें पानी साफ दीजिए, हम जितना मर्जी हम बिल पे कर देंगे, लेकिन हमें पानी साफ चाहिए, क्योंकि सब ये जनता की एक प्रॉब्लम है। इट्स वेरी बिग प्रॉब्लम। And हमें पानी साफ दीजिए।
And the other big problem is that this water, the water mafia that operates, has political links. Every summer that it operates has political links.
See, the water which is being supplied through tankers, a lot of mafia has control of that. So we need to decontrol all these issues, and distribution system has to be, brought up and forced to, so that, the 40 lakh people which doesn't have pipe water, they should get that water. So we doesn't want a free water, we want clean and sufficient water to every citizen of this Delhi, and this should, political parties should.
So Delhi doesn't want freebies, you just want quality of services.
I think I want to give a message to that, we doesn't want free water, we want clean and clear water and distribution to every citizen of this Delhi.
And so you very quickly wanted to say something?
Yeah, in one of my RTI, it was revealed that no CAG audit is being done for the Delhi Jal Board. My question is, if for the last few years there is no audit of this Delhi Jal Board, and if they don't have any certified figure whether they are in profit or loss, how and why they are raising the water tariff at the rate of 10% plus 60% as the sewage charges since last 5 to 6 years? It means almost 86 to 90% of the water tariff has risen, and they don't even know that they are at loss or profit. It's cheating with the public of Delhi.
Alright, so very quickly, since the show is called Delhi Demands, what is your demand from the next government that Delhi will choose?
The demand of the next government, whoever comes in, is improve the infrastructure, especially if you see there is a problem in distribution in water as well as in power. Not a nickel has been spent on all this. Fake ARRs are made, Mr. Radhan, which are submitted to us in DRC, and we have to undergo that and we have to approve that. You know why? With all the political pressures hanging around in Delhi. My second question is that the demand for Delhi is such that we should have complete security for the women and the girls, as well as the need of having a continuous policing in all the affairs.
All right.
Whether you start from electricity or you start from water. And the DISCOMs are so beautifully maneuvered with the Jal Board. That is why, if you remember, in the last regime, Kamal Nath ji had said we'll make 30 stories and 50 stories, and the Jal Board chairman says we can't give water more than first floor. I mean, isn't that what you're talking about?
All right, so we've completely run out of time. I thank you for coming in. I thank all of you for coming in. Whatever show you may do, and today was about electricity, today was about water, but women's security always seems to top the agenda as far as Delhi acts are concerned. We're going to end the show on this note. We'll be back on Monday, same time, same space. Do stay with us. Thanks for watching.
We are going to speak